Hello boys and girls, and why not also adults who are visiting this channel. Welcome everyone. Here I will be sharing a space created for the little ones in the family where I will be leaving them stories created by me and they will be narrated through my voice. The purpose is to have a fun and pleasant time in which they could listen to them during the day or, as was the custom in the past, before going to sleep. And well, without further ado, here we go with the story. Hope you like it. The Rocker Grandmother. We are a group of friends. Together we go to the same school and we are all the same age. We met as neighbors as we also live in the same neighborhood. The group of friends is made up of Rolando, Luis, Sarah, and I. My name is Anna. Rolando and Sarah are together in the same class, and Luis and I are in another, but when the bell rings for recess time, the four of us always get together. Near the basketball court, that has been our meeting place for 6 years since we are in 6th grade, and we have been coming to this school since the first year. When we get together at recess, we talk about different topics that have been discussed in our classes or about the amount of homework that the math teacher gives, but the real topic that interests us is what we talk about on Fridays at Rolando's or someone else's house. Another, since one Friday a week we meet at the house of one of us. This Friday we have to meet at Sarah's house. Sarah was the most inquisitive of the group and she loves stories. I love meeting at Sarah's house because her mom always turned the living room into a huge movie theater along with popcorn and a lot of super comfortable cushions where we would throw ourselves on the floor and enjoy our favorite movies, and her dad would prepare us for lunch delicious burgers. With the passing of the days, Friday had finally arrived. Each one of us in their classes hoped that the bell would finally ring to go out for recess. The minutes took as long as the walk of an old turtle. There was a clock in the living room that the children didn't seem to like because its hands moved so slowly as if it were a penance they gave us for misbehaving. And it seemed to the teachers that someone was winding them up to talk and talk for hours. Until finally the bell rings and we all run out into the yard as if in a great race. There in the meeting place, while each of us ate our snack, we planned everything we would do at Sarah's house after school. Sarah, who was the owner of the house, said that it was not necessary to bring anything because even her grandmother, an old woman who used to spend the day sitting in her rocking chair knitting and fighting with the cat because she took out her balls of wool, had prepared a dessert for them that looked delicious. Rolando commented that for having obtained a good grade in one of his exams, his parents had given him a series of music videos that made his hair fly with joy. Then Sarah and the rest of the group said in a voice not to forget to bring them so everyone could hear them. These kids also liked the same music. They liked rock and the music of the 80s. Although they were very young, they liked that music because their parents were from that time, and even today it is still heard in their homes, and the young people began to like it after listening to it so much. Rolando really liked guitars. He had an electric guitar that his godfather gave him for his birthday a few years ago, but he had no idea how to play it, and the poor guitar has been sitting there on the side of his closet ever since. Luis, when he was younger, had gone to organ and piano class, but never had his own because despite liking it he got bored and didn't go to his classes anymore. Sarah had a flute that was also kept because her father did not want her to play it because when she did, the cat would get nervous, and when he heard her he would start scratching the door asking to get out. And Anna did not have any instruments because they seemed difficult to play, but there was something that she liked and she really did very well, which was singing and writing. The four friends, leaving everything unplanned, hadn't realized that recess was over and each quickly returned to their classrooms, but with a shout Sarah reminded them that they would all leave together at the exit. The departure time had finally arrived, the four friends left and all together they headed to Sarah's house. While they were walking, none was silent. They were all talking at the same time, saying that this week was finally over and they would have the weekend off from school. They crossed the street and, reaching the corner, they had arrived at Sarah's house. Sarah's mom opens the door and greets everyone with a kiss, welcoming them. The friends left their backpacks in a corner of the room and greeted Sarah's father, the cat, who looked at them with an angry face, and when they went to greet Sarah's grandmother, the poor old woman had fallen asleep tangled in the wool of her knitting. The four friends laughed, and with the popcorn ready, each one settled on a cushion and decided to watch the first music video. Rolando tells his friends that the first video they would see would be of a rock group that he did not remember the name, and to everyone's surprise, that even the cat said meow. Sarah's grandmother jumped up and said, "That group is called What In?" The boys were all open-mouthed and thought that the old woman was dreaming, but when they put play on the video, some huge letters appeared on the screen, and there they could see that the group was really called as Sarah's grandmother had said. The boys looked like machines swallowing so many popcorn coins that they put in their mouths, and without moving an eyelash they enjoyed the rock video. Rolando moved his hair, Luis scratched his belly as if playing a guitar, Sarah moved her feet, and Anna hummed sounds with her mouth. But there was someone else who was also enjoying the music. It was the old woman who hit the table with her knitting needles, rocking chair as if playing the drums. Everyone there in the house was enjoying the music until Sarah's father interrupted, saying, "The hamburgers are ready, everyone to eat." They paused the video and everyone sat at the table to enjoy the delicious hamburgers that the aroma invited even the cat, but Sarah quickly ran him off, telling him that he was not invited. Now everyone with their bellies full, they go back to the living room to finish watching the video, but suddenly the whole house is without light. "Ah," the boys said in chorus. Rolando said, "What will we do now? Maybe the light will come back soon, but we should do something while we wait." The friends sitting in a circle thought what they could do while they waited for the light to return, and Sarah shouted, "I have an idea. While we try the dessert that my grandmother made, we can hear a story." Everyone knew that Sarah liked stories a lot, but Luis asked, "And who would tell us a story that isn't boring?" Sarah quickly said that her grandmother was the oldest in the house and she might have a good story to tell them. All the boys accepted, and quickly the four friends, making a round, put the cushions where Sarah's grandmother was. "Hi, Grandma," Sarah told her. "Sarita, what happened to rock music?" Grandma asked her. "Grandma's power has gone out and we can't continue watching the video," Sarah answered. "Oh, I thought that bandit cat had eaten the cables," said the grandmother, laughing. Grandma, adjusting her glasses, looked at each of the boys and asked, "What are you all doing here on my feet?" "I'm not Freddie Mercury to sing ha 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 ha," said the grandmother, smiling. Then the children wondered who this Freddie Mercury was, and Sarah finally said, "Grandma, could you tell us a story while we wait for the light to return? You are many years old and you must have very good stories," Sarah said. The old woman kicked the cat that was bothering her balls again and told the children, "Prepare your ears because the story I am going to tell you will never be forgotten." And saying that, the grandmother began her story. In the decade of the years in which I was young, I had a group of friends just like you. We really liked rock and our favorite band was Queen. Freddie Mercury was the vocalist of the group. With the money that our parents gave us on Sundays, we managed to buy instruments and thus we formed a band. The band played on Saturdays in my garage and I played drums. We wore matching clothes and our band was called The Best, which means the best. The boys imagined Grandma in her crooked slippers and trying to sing without teeth, and they laughed. When the grandmother saw that the children were laughing, she told them, "Oh, so you don't believe me? They're going to see." And suddenly the old lady with her slippers on backwards went to her room and brought a drum kit that she set up there in a corner of the room, and when she got ready to start playing it, wham, the light was back. Freddie Mercury sang on the television screen and the grandmother, shaking her few hairs and careful not to lose her teeth, played her drums there in the corner of the room. Sarah's parents accompanied the boys who were clapping, raising the volume of the music. The cat had run away, but everyone was having a day of pure rock. The night had come and the first to go to sleep was the rocker grandmother. That's what the four friends would call her from now on. Each boy had a sleeping bag, and remembering that day they said that in tribute to the rocker grandmother they would do the same, form a rock band with the name The Best. The next day they told Sarah's grandmother, and the old lady hugged them and told them that by playing the drums again she had made her relive the most beautiful time of her life. But the boys had one more surprise. Each one had their place and their instrument in the band they would form. Rolando would play the guitar, Luis the organ, Anna would write the songs, and Sarah would play the flute. But someone was missing to play the drums, and by decision of the group they chose the grandmother. When they broke the news to the rocker grandmother, the old woman, shaking her hair, shouted, "Yes, long live the best," and everyone toasted with cookies and chocolate. End. Well friends, did you like the story? If so, I hope you will give me a like, subscribe to the channel and leave your comments about the story and give suggestions to write more new stories. With this it will be until a new video, a new story, and well, thank you all for listening to me. I hope you liked it. Bye bye.